Welcome to Waukesha County GovCast, your source for what's happening in our vibrant community. I'm your host, Hillary Mintz, Public Information Officer.
And I'm Sean Lundy, Chief of Staff for Waukesha County Executive Paul Farrow.
Each episode, we dive into the latest news, community projects, and the initiatives shaping Waukesha County, where innovation meets public service. From in-depth discussions on local governance to county services, we're here to keep you informed and connected. So whether you're a resident, a business owner, or just curious about local government, join us for a closer look at the heart of your county. Well, welcome to GovCast. Today is Monday, June 23rd. I'm Hillary Mintz here with Sean Lundy.
Hey,
and for the first time, we've taken GovCast on the road. We are here recording from the beautiful Naga-Waukee War Memorial Golf Course in Pewaukee. And it just made perfect sense that we welcome back our team, some of our team from Parks and Land Use. So we're going to get to Park System Manager Rebecca Mattano coming up in just a second. But first, here's what's happening in Waukesha County. Last week, our Sheriff's Department hosted the Eddie the Eagle Gun Safe Program. The gun accident prevention program has helped keep kids safe for 30 years, teaching children that if they see a gun, they need to stop, don't touch, run away, and tell a grown-up. And speaking of the Sheriff's Department, July 4th, right around the corner, July 4th to the 6th marks Operation Dry Water. It is a national law enforcement campaign to reduce boating under the influence. So if you're out on our beautiful lakes, one right behind us here on the Sheriff's Boat Patrol, you will see them, and they're out there to keep everyone safe. June also marks Pet Preparedness Month. Our staff at Emergency Management is promoting pet safety across their social media platforms. And if you see those orange barrels and cones, yes, it is summer construction season, and all across our county, our crews at Public Works are working to make your roads and intersections safer. So give them some space and some slack. For the latest on road projects, visit waukeshacounty.gov. Click on Road Projects on the DPW page. And this month, finally, Waukesha County kicked off their budget process, and that means our 17 departments will plan and craft their 2026 budget. Each department will meet with the county executive over the next few weeks, and then later this fall, the county board will vote on the budget. All right, well, let's get to the matter at hand here. What a beautiful backdrop we have here. Today, Park System Manager Rebecca Mattano joins us here. Welcome to GovCast.
Well, thank you for having me. This is amazing.
It is. It got us all out of the office
exactly.
today. We really couldn't have picked a more perfect backdrop. It's hot, but we're luckily in the shade here. So if you're watching on YouTube, you can see us here with a nice breeze flowing the right way, not messing up Sean's hair. So, Rebecca, for our listeners out there, or our viewers, tell us, what do you do at PLU?
So that's a great question. So I've been with PLU for 13 years. I've been in this role for going on 8 years this summer. So I am one of 2 park system managers. So under my purview is all of our core parks, our lake access, our 40 plus miles of rec trails, Retzer Nature Center, and our 2 ice arenas. That's all under my purview. My counterpart then also manages our design and planning projects, our capital projects, the golf courses. So I'll do my best to answer your questions on those, and our exposition center.
The last time we had Parks and Land Use on GovCast, Director Dale Shaver it was the dead of winter. It was January, and we were over at Waukesha City Hall, which is where we normally record our episodes. What a difference a few months makes. We've had extreme heat the past few days. Luckily, we're maybe glistening a little bit here today, but the beaches, the beer gardens, the golf, that is what that's why we live here. People wonder, why do you live in Wisconsin? But it's because we wait all year to get to this time of year so we can enjoy all the wonderful things that Waukesha County in the summer has to offer. So let's dive in. We're here at the golf course. How many courses do we have? Give us some kind of numbers on, how many golfers are playing every year.
Sure. So we do have our 2 golf courses. So we have Naga-Waukee, which we're here at right now, and then we also have our Moore Downs. Our Moore Downs, I would say, is more for our beginner golfers, right? It's basically a 9-hole course, and so our Naga-Waukee is definitely our more award-winning, larger golf course. At Nag, we have about 67,000 rounds a year, whereas Moore Downs we have about 27,000. So you can tell kind of the difference in the use rate difference that we have between those 2 courses.
And so we used to have 3 golf courses. We had the county-owned Waunakee Golf Course. off of Lisbon Road,
Right.
and operated that for many, many years. And then a decision was made a couple of years ago to sell that course into private hands. Can you tell us a little bit about why that or how that decision was made and why we sold Waukesha?
Sure. Well, Waukesha, it was the golf course. We went through quite an extensive data analysis, especially a fiscal cost analysis, and it was determined that that course was losing about $143,000 a year. And so when we're losing that, the courses that are doing well, such as Naga-Waukee that we're at, are now subsidizing these other courses staying in operation. And so you start falling behind on maybe the improvements and the capital improvements and amenities that you want to do by subsidizing that course. What we're really happy to say is we found somebody that purchased it and still keeps it operational as a golf course for the community. So we feel like it was a win-win. It allows the county to open up some of our financial revenues that we have to put back into the two existing golf courses instead of continuing to support one that we just couldn't invest in the infrastructure needed to turn that into the golf course it needed to be, where the private sector owner has done that.
Yeah, and I think, one of the things that really sets Waukesha County apart is we do take a business-like approach even to things like golf courses. And when we have a course that's underperforming, we look at ways to improve revenue and make it profitable and support itself. And then when it's not, we have difficult decisions to make. But I think a really good thing to highlight here is that no tax dollars go into the operations of our county golf courses. And so we have an enterprise fund that the revenues that come in from golfers using these two wonderful courses are able to support itself and support the annual maintenance on the golf courses as well. And so that's just an awesome thing that we have. So when we're looking at tight budgets, which we are, and everybody knows the kind of financial situation that most local governments are in, that we're in these tight spots, and you might think to yourself, like, why do we have golf courses and ice arenas and all these other things, and why are our tax dollars going to waste? And it's really that public support of people in the community playing golf and using these facilities and amenities that are keeping them going without your property tax dollars going for it. It's an awesome model, and I think we should be really proud of it, and your whole team should be super proud of what they do to keep this place looking the way that it does.
Absolutely, and like you said, the business decision on Waukesha also, if people are paying attention and noticing, has really gone able to reinvest in improvements in Nag and Moore Downs. And so these are things that are visible, they're tangible, that we're able to do now that we've refocused our business on the two courses that we have and that are performing well.
Yeah, it was almost like, sell Waukesha, save Nag. Right. I mean, really, when it comes down to it. Yeah. And wonderful partner in the new owner-operators of Waukesha, and they've made great investments there.
Absolutely, and the investments that the county wasn't able to make, so.
Well, in addition to the two golf courses we have, beaches, boat launches, and let's mention here, this past weekend, we had extreme heat, temps in the mid-90s to heat index over 100, banner weekend for the park system. 10 to 12,000 vehicles came to the parks. I'm guessing all those kids, everybody was in the water to cool off. That really is impressive.
Yes, and I will have to give all the kudos and credit to the team. An amazing team. They don't complain, they dig in. They know what needs to be done, they plan ahead, they're prepared, and they execute. They make sure these facilities are clean, safe, and open, no matter how busy it is. And so, yes, when we're looking at 10 to 12,000 vehicles just entering our parks, right? Those are unique vehicles. We had full picnic areas, so all the grad parties, think of all that. Plus we had all of our lake access sites, 5 of those, all of our beach areas, we had the beer garden, and all of our campgrounds were full. So you put all of that together, and we have a team of 50 full-time people, and then we balloon up with 200 seasonals. That's your crew. Those are the people out there keeping those facilities clean, safe, and open, and they are killing it. They are just killing it.
So how many beaches? I mean, what does that kind of look like, though, for people who haven't been to our parks?
Right. So we have our Naga-Waukee. that has our beach. We have Manuka that has a small pond and beach, Muskego that has a small pond and beach, Mugwanago that has a small pond and beach. So, and then we obviously have the quarry at Menominee. So we have quite an array of access to water at all of our facilities. It's just a little bit different wherever you go. And then you add our lake access, which obviously you're not going to swim, but you can launch your kayaks or your boats at that. So we have 5 of those sites.
When you're not buying, you don't necessarily have to go buy an individual park pass to get into any of those, right? You can buy a park sticker and it gives you access to all these amenities?
So a little bit different there. So you do need a park for the core park areas, but you need a lake access to do the lake. So it's either a daily for a park or an annual, or a daily or an annual for the lake. However, I will say we have a great deal where you can buy a park lake combo for $130. I don't know if you want to say prices, but we could have the Park Lake combo that gives you access then to all of that, which is a really great deal.
And yeah, I don't know what the research shows with drinking alcohol on extreme hot days, but nonetheless, I'm sure many people were doing it. Beer gardens, you know, are a big part too. People live for that here. So tell us about that kind of partnership with our, you know, park system and the beer gardens.
So we have a great public-private partnership with the Tap Yard that has given us an opportunity to expand again our amenities and put that out there. So the Tap Yard operates at our Foxbrook, Manuka, and Menominee parks. We've now in our 3rd year, 2nd full year with them operating full-time at 3 of our facilities. And they bring in great crowds, great events, and they are a great partner in that they have enough staff on that they're constantly helping us make sure our facilities, again, are clean, safe, and open. They're helping us with bathroom checks. They're making sure the garbage is cleaned up. They're making sure the site is safe. They're making sure people are following in the parameters, right? Nobody's getting out of control or unruly or taking the alcohol outside of the beer garden area, which is really important to us because, you know, the parks are for family. And so you want to make sure that families that come have an opportunity to be in spaces that aren't consumed with things that they're not interested in or they don't want to be a part of. So,
well, we are at a golf course and you kind of teed up, if you will. My next question here, and that is, you mentioned families, you mentioned just all the things that we have to do here. Maybe you can talk a little bit about, let's say you are, you know, a parent on a summer day, or you're sending the babysitter with the kids to the parks and things. Sure. What other things do they have to do other than the beaches and beer gardens? What other sorts of amenities do our parks offer in the summer?
Sure. Most of our parks have a nice playground area. Like our Fox River Park has a great nature play area, award-winning as a matter of fact. So that's a lot of fun, and it's separate from a beach, so safety is a little bit less of a cumbersome issue, especially when we're swimming at your own risk, right? And people need to make sure they're taking care of watching their children in the water. The other things are hiking, biking, our dog exercise areas, right? Those are the things like our natural resource-based parks are a great complement to our municipal parks that offer you the more active recreation like the pickleballs and the basketball courts. We're that more passive natural resource-based recreation, right? Where you can come, just generally have a picnic. There's volleyball nets, take a hike, take a walk, jump on your bike and get on the trails. All of those opportunities exist outside of a water type activity.
And you know, another gem we have in our park system, Retzer Nature Center, they have tons of activities throughout the summer for families and kids. And I mean, we were looking up a few, art in nature, that's, you know, and some other fun things. Tell us about just that gem that we have.
Sure. So I should mention too, our parks are year-round, right? And they're great. They offer all these opportunities. I will say though that Retzer really shines in the summer with its opportunities to hike and go up to the vista and the views that you get to see. Now we added our Discovery Trail, which was done with donations from our public partners and private partners here in the county, which has been phenomenal. It's fully accessible, gets you all the way down to a boardwalk. So really, the opportunities there for all ages, all abilities. And go ahead.
Oh, you have a Friends of Retzer Nature Center group, right? With a strong partnership there. So when we're talking about how we're saving money but still able to invest. Can you talk about that partnership for a sec?
Sure. So the Friends Board has been with us for as long as I can remember. They've helped us do our addition on the park. They also every year annually sponsor several of our events, including Apple Harvest Fest, which is one of our biggest events. So they're always part of that. They were a big sponsor for the Discovery Trail. In addition, right now they've just approved helping us enhance our children's garden, which will be renamed as the Retzer Garden. That will be a fully accessible garden for all ages and abilities too. So again, expanding our capacity. There's only so much dollars to go around. So when we have this friends group and those people contribute to it, because Retzer's free to get into, to go hike, explore, right? You pay for programming, but other than that, it's free to access for anyone. So the friends become that key link in our ability to extend our capacity to get more done.
And so in addition to all these great things, we also have a nice network that has been developed over time of bike paths and trails, and they kind of crisscross all over the county, and they connect with a patchwork of also local bike trails and things, so that you could really ride all day and be in a very safe trail environment. And we have connections to state trails as well. So can you talk about our bike paths a little bit?
Sure. So we have about 43 miles. So recently added was our Fox River Trail, and that was in collaboration with Brookfield and Pewaukee, which we love that, and also some state funding and federal funding that went along with it. Currently, right now, as an expansion, we're working with Jefferson County, the city of Oconomowoc, and again, state and federal dollars to expand that Lake Country Trail into Jefferson County. I mean, that will really give us several additional miles and kick us way out. So think about how long the Lake Country Trail is, and now we're going into another county and connecting. Those collaborations are so key if we want to keep connecting these bike trails and expanding that opportunity for that recreation in a safe environment. Off-road for the most part, right? In a safe environment where we can have events, families can go and connect in those areas, local businesses can be part of those trail systems. So yes, 40 plus miles and expanding, only by the capability of doing this with other counties, municipalities, and funding that's out there. It's pretty phenomenal when you think about it.
And so how are those decisions made though? So like when you there might be a route that is commonly used. Is it all like rails to trails? Is it how are you making the decision of where you're expanding or what you're connecting? And do you have a queue of these things that you're thinking about doing in the future?
Sure. So we are part of, it's something called Route of the Badger, and it's a statewide initiative looking to connect trails as much as we can. Rails to Trails is a part of it, and where you can get some funding and there are some opportunities there. But really what it comes down to is we have our park and open space plan. Within that plan, we have a bike pedestrian plan through that. But then we're also part of these statewide organizations, not including the Wisconsin Park and Rec, the National Park and Rec Association, and then we have the Route of the Badger. We talk with, our sewer pack. Everybody's working together to see how we can make these connections. So it really comes down to cooperation and communication across the board.
Yeah. And those trails you use for free, right? There's no permit. You don't need a license. Like on a state trail, you could have a DNR agent or someone ask you for your permit, which you would have to produce. But on the Bug Line Lake Country Trail, which incidentally is running 100 yards from us right now, but you don't need a permit or anything to ride on that, correct? You just pop right on?
Yes, they're another free amenity that the park system, so your annual membership to the parks, the memberships to the lake access, all of that helps reinforce the funding for all the other amenities within the system as a whole.
Well, needless to say, plenty to do across our park system. Tons of fun. Rebecca, we can't thank you enough for joining us. I hope you guys brought your clubs, because I got a tea time to get to right after this. But
you wish.
I do. For even more background on our park system, visit waukeshacounty.gov. Click on the Parks and Recreation tab right at the top of the homepage. And to learn even more about our Parks and Land Use Department, check out our very first episode with them back in January on GovCast. You can listen to GovCast on all your podcast platforms. We'll see you next time.